All right, so we've got these things tapered all the way down, correct? They look pretty good. So it looks like we need to do a little bit of sanding on them, which is no big deal. Now there's a right way and a wrong way to sand these things. If we take a look at these, you've got to be careful. See that little ding right there?
Yeah.
That's when we put stuff away. Like if we just toss these things in, it'll ding that. That'll definitely show up. So when we put them away, we've got to be, very careful. Set them in like this and set another set on top type of deal. Anyways, if we take a look at this here, if we notice, see how these two sides have got a mortise groove in here?
Yeah.
And these two don't. So if we take a look, this right here, if we were to sight down this, see if I can actually get it in the view of the camera, that's perfectly straight the whole way. But if I move it on my mortise groove and we take a look at it, it's tapered right up into this point right here. So when we sand this, can I sand this side here the whole way from one side to the other?
No.
Why not?
Because you got to stop because it starts to taper like right around here.
Does this one taper?
No.
No. So this one, can I go the whole way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure can. So when I sand this, I'm just going to sand this the whole way like this. And this is a non-glued up edge, so this one here really shouldn't need too much work. What do you think we should sand these at? What grit?
150.
We could sand at 150.
Like 120 or something.
Well, I would definitely start at a 120, and if we were staining these, I would tell you that we should take it, since it's popular, we should take them all the way up to 220. But do you remember what we're actually going to do to these legs?
We're just going to paint them.
We are going to paint them over there. We're going to spray paint them, actually. So all that we're going to sand these with and to is 120 grit. That's plenty fine. And then what we'll do is, after they're sanded, we're going to put something on. It's called sanding seal, sanding sealer, or sand and seal. And what it's going to do is it's just going to sit right on the top of the wood, and it's going to seal up the pores so that when we spray paint this, the spray paint doesn't keep getting sucked into the wood and sucked into the wood. So a couple light coats and we'll be good to go. So let's take a look at this side over here. So we definitely have a mortise groove right here, and we know that this is tapered. You said that we had
right about here.
Yeah, it stops right about here. We can actually feel it. So when we sand this over here, all right, I want to hold this like this, and I want to sand this full stroke up to, but not over my taper. What I don't want to do is I don't want to come right here and round this over, okay? When I sand this little bit right here, I'm just going to sand this. All right, so this piece right here, and then I go like that. What do you think would happen if I just kept going over this? Am I gonna?
The taper would just go away.
Exactly. All right. And we want this piece here to be good because our apron, all right, is gonna have a nice sharp shoulder right here. See how if this thing keeps going? See how we'd start getting a groove down there? If we sand it together, that groove's gonna wind up catching up into here, or that we're gonna see a groove in the bottom. So there's not too much of sand on these. I mean, you're in pretty darn good shape. I think that you could probably sand these things here in 15 minutes or so. What's the one thing that we definitely want to remember when we put them away?
Don't throw them, or just don't think them up.
Yeah, and could we sand these things without a block sander? Could we do it by hand?
Yeah.
All right, what's one thing that might happen though if we did it by hand?
You end up just making it uneven and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna round over these edges too, aren't I? All right, so I strongly recommend just using a block sander. Put a nice brand new piece of 120 on. Sides with your mortises, just remember to sand those independently. Sides without a mortise are fair game. You don't have to go the whole way. You can just kind of work it down and get it down. All right?
Yeah.
Pretty easy? All right, we'll be in good shape.